It's Christmas. In case you haven't fucking guessed, it's Christmas. I've never done a video like this before. I thought I had in the past, but I haven't. There is going to be partners or friends, close friends, of vapers who don't vape themselves. And they're probably sitting there thinking, well, hold on, he vapes or she vapes. What am I going to get him for Christmas? I don't have a fucking clue. Hopefully this video is going to steer you in the correct direction. So vaping. This video is going to be mostly, well not mostly, all tailored, because if you're a vapor and your friends are partnered with another vapor, you're going to know exactly what to get them. But I'm talking to the people who don't vape, who are husbands or wives and their partner vapes but they don't, or they've got a best friend who vapes and they don't. This is going to kind of guide those people in roughly the same direction. I'm not going to tell people exactly what to buy, right? Because doing that's not fair, right? But what I'm going to do is steer you, the person who doesn't vape, in the right direction of what to get someone who does vape. Now, you don't have a clue. This is you that's going to buy the Christmas present for the vapor. You don't have a clue what vaping is. You don't know what it's all about. To you, these all look the same. They all look the same. But there's a big difference when it comes to this and this. And what I'm going to do now is explain the right course to go down if you're going to buy certain vapors, a specific all-encompassing kind of specific vaping device for their Christmas, right? This is going to work extremely well if you're a partner or married to this vapor. If you're the best friend of this vapor, you're probably not going to know what vaping equipment they've got in their house. And all you're going to see is the piece of kit that they're using when they're out at the pub with you, or they're out, I don't know, watching a football match with you, that kind of thing. So that's going to be a little bit harder, but this video is going to be a little bit more easier, leaning towards the folks who are partnered to a vapor. So you've got, in essence, this is putting things to its very, very basics for the non-vapors out there. You've got two types of vapor. The pod user, these little fellas, or the big kit user. Now, for all the non-vapors out there, if you see your vaping partner or vaping friend doing this, they're probably using some sort of small mouth to lung kit, or if it looks something like this, tall and thin, they're using a pod kit. If, however, you see your vaping partner or friend doing this a lot, yeah, basically exhaling a small weather system, then they're using either a stock coil subohm tank kit, off the shelf, bought from VPZ or something, or they could be using some kind of rebuildable device. Now, the first part of this end of the market is very easy to cater for. The latter end of the market, where you see your friend or your partner doing this a lot, that's going to be a little bit harder to nail down. So, to make it easier for you, we're going to lump the rebuildables in with the stock coil subohm tank users, right? There's going to be rebuildable people out there watching this going, you fucking idiot. I'm going to make it easy. I'm trying to make it easy for the people that's trying to buy a Christmas present for their vaping buddy, right? So, the first part of this, if you see your friend or your partner predominantly vape like this, little bit of vapor, they're not exhaling a small weather system, and you see them predominantly vape like that, and you see them use kits that look like that. Long, thin batteries with a tiny little mouthpiece at the top, they're probably pod users. Shopping for them is going to be extremely easy. Extremely easy. If you live in a relatively large town, you've probably got some sort of VPZ shop, vaporized VPZ, you can't miss them, they've got the big green logo above their door, or you've got a local vape shop there. If they are predominantly using items like this, buy them a couple of the latest, not just one, a couple of the latest pod kits. My recommendation, not that I would give recommendations, but just to kind of steer you in the right direction, UL or Vaporesso. That's the two names, because generally speaking, most vaporized shops and most independent vape shops have got UL or Vaporesso on their store shelf. Walk into that shop and say you're buying a Christmas present for a pod user. Now, there could be a big chance that the pod that you're going to buy them, they're already using. But here's the thing, they're going to have a spare. Because these things have got a tendency to break, right? They've got a tendency to break sometimes. We all know that with pod kits. They'll be happy to have that spare sitting there, or even two spares sitting, if you get them two pod kits, two spares sitting there while they use their main pod kit until the fucker breaks, because these things break all the time. So that takes care of the pod user. You can easily walk in to a VPZ shop or a local independent vape shop and ask for a couple of their pod kits, either UL, Vaporesso. I suppose you can go down the road of the Breeze line from Aspire, but they're getting a bit old now. Smock is another option. In fact, you might actually be better off with the Smock rather than UL. I'm not going to confuse you, right? Here's the three names, not two anymore. Here's the three names to stick in your head when you're going down to your local VPZ to get a pod kit as a Christmas, or two pod kits for a Christmas present. Smock, UL, or Vaporesso. Write them down. That covers a wide range of different pod styles. Now, on the flip side of that coin, right, if you are, have I got something, I'll use that. If you're seeing, I know just the tank to use, hold on. If you're seeing your vaping friend, where the fuck did I put that tank? There it is. If you're seeing your vaping friend using a kit that looks a little bit like that. Now it looks completely, why is my phone going nuts all of a sudden? If you're seeing your vaping friend using a kit like that, rather than something like this, that probably means they're using a separate tank with a battery mod at the base. And what these vape like is very similar. I'm going to switch mods over because I don't have a battery for that. What these vape like is very similar to what you see with a pod. They're both mouth to lung style kits. In other words, they do this, right? They both do that. Wow, my phone is going nuts here. There must be somebody messaging me. So here's the thing. You see your friend using a larger kit with an obviously big tank sitting on top of a large or thin battery, but they're still vaping like this. Little bit of vapor, a little bit more than this, but not as much as the big cloud fucking weather system you've seen me exhale, right? This is still mouth to lung vaping, but that means that your friend or your partner is using a dedicated separate tank like that, and a dedicated separate mod, either something a bit smaller like this or something a bit bigger like this. They could be using a rebuildable, but we're not going to delve into that. We're going to lump them in to the mouth to lung advanced kit. So, pod users have been taken care of. If you're dealing with a separate tank user, still mouth to lunging with a separate battery, what you're looking for is a mouth to lung kit. Write that down on a bit of paper. Mouth to lung kit, not pod. So if you walk into Vaporized, right, or you walk into your local vape shop and you say, I want a mouth to lung kit, and the guy or the woman behind the counter tries to sell you one of these, no, you want a mouth to lung kit. Something like, just to nudge you in the right direction, Aspire Zelos 3. Just say that. Doesn't have to be exactly an Aspire Zelos 3. It could be a Vapor SO. Does Smok still do mouth to lung? I think they do, yeah. It could be a Vapor SO or a Smok equivalent of the Aspire Zelos 3, or even an Anakin mouth to lung kit. Don't let them sell you one of these pod kits if you're after a separate tank mouth to lung kit. So there, that's the difference when it comes to mouth to lung. The second part of this, and this is where it gets a little bit tricky. At the beginning, I need to make sure I'm picking up the right damn dripper here. I've got that many, in fact. Hold on. I'll use this. That's the wrong one. Hold on. No, it is that one. As we said at the beginning of this video, there's the second style of vapor who vapes like, once I get the wattage back up in this, who vapes like this. That style of vapor, you're going to have a little bit of an easier time getting them something. A little bit of an easier time. Now, again, we're not going to delve into rebuildables. And if you're married to a vapor and that vapor is messing around with bits of wire and wire cutters and you see bits of cotton everywhere, they're probably a rebuildable user. But here's the thing, shopping for a rebuildable kit, like a tailored rebuildable kit, or a tailored rebuildable kit from a local vape shop or an online shop for that matter, it's a bit of a minefield. You might get them a style of rebuildable tank that they don't like. You might get them a style of rebuildable dripper that they're not a fan of. It's much, much safer going down the road of a stock coil subohm tank kit. Because if anything, they've got a mod they can use, and if they don't like the tank, they can put the tank to one side and they can keep using the mod. This is a little bit easier if you're going down the road of catering to a vapor who vapes like this. All you need to do is walk into your local vaporized shop and say you're looking for a direct to lung kit. Direct to lung, not mouth to lung, completely different. Direct to lung kit. Go for either, am I going to say Smok? Well, here's the thing, a lot of the newer Smok kits were actually not bad. Right, go for Smok, Vapor SO, UL, Anakin at a pinch, if they don't have anything else in, right? Anakin at a pinch. Who else does vaporize? Who else does vaporize stock? Smok, Anakin at a pinch, UL, some of them do stock UL, Vapor SO, some of them do stock Vapor SO, Aspire do a couple of relatively good direct to lung bits of kit. There's your 5 options, write those down on a bit of paper. However, there's a second option that you can try. I wouldn't recommend this for the mouth to lung folks, right? The people at the beginning who vape like this. I wouldn't recommend this for that. Online shops. Now, online shops like Vaping 101 or ECig 1. Just run a search for them in Google, they should be at the top. Vaping 101 in the UK or ECig 1 in the UK usually have a pretty damn good selection of stock coil subohm tank kits. Geek Vape, UL again, Vapor SO again, Smok again. A much, much wider range of direct to lung kits than your local VPZ shop's probably going to have. And the good thing is, what you can do if you're a little bit confused about what to buy, simply send that online shop an email via the contact form. But if you go down the road of direct to lung stock coil subohm tank kits, direct to lung again, don't get it mixed up with mouth to lung, direct to lung stock coil subohm tank kits, the odds are the one that you're going to get is going to be one that was released over the past year, is dual battery, has a pretty damn good stock coil tank sitting on top, and whatever you get, I'm guessing your partner or your friend who vapes is going to be happy with what you've bought them. Happy with what you've bought them. So again, the mouth to lung side of things, at the very beginning of what I was talking about, pod kits like this. You can pick them up in your local Vaporize VPZ shop. They've got the green signage above the door. You can't miss them in your local high street or even your local independent vape shop. You've got the mouth to lung side of stock coil tank systems, right? So again, if you're seeing your mouth to lung who vapes like this, right? If you're seeing that kind of vaping, but coming from a kit like this, Aspire, Zelos 3, that's your baseline. Equivalent kits from Vaporesso, just walk into your local VPZ shop and say you're looking for a mouth-to-lung kit. Not a pod, a mouth-to-lung kit. They'll know exactly what you're talking about. And when it gets to the direct-to-lung side of things, the bigger mods, the big weather system being exhaled, you're going to have a much wider range of choice to go for. Now, those three different directions for the three major types of vapor. Again, I'm lumping the rebuildables in with the stock coil subohm tank, folks. It's less confusing that way. Now you know what road to go down. Now you know exactly what road to go down. But I'm going to add something else in here. You don't have to do this, right? But if you're a wife or you're a husband and your wife or husband vapes and you look at them on their little vape table and they've got bits of wire hanging around, or they've got lumps of cotton sitting around here and there, and wire snippers, the odds are they probably do rebuildables. Now, I did say that going down the rebuildable road is a bit of a minefield. You might get them the wrong tank or the style of rebuildable they don't like. But what you can do is get them something bespoke. Vape Smarter UK. Run a search on Google. Vape Smarter. One word, no spaces, UK. Or Turnwood, am I getting the name right? Yeah. Turnwood FX UK. Again, Turnwood, one word, FX UK. Those are two bespoke mod manufacturers. In other words, the battery bit, right? They're bespoke mod manufacturers here in the UK. If you've got a little, well, it's not a little bit, if you've got a lot of money to spend, right, especially for Turnwood FX, and you know that your partner or your best friend dabbles in rebuildable tanks, bits of wire everywhere, cotton everywhere, wire snips, rolls of wire, coils, you know they're going to be rebuilding if you see bits of cotton everywhere. You might, if you've got a bit of money, be able to get them a bespoke mod, stabilised wood mod, resin-based mod from either Turnwood FX or from Vape Smarter UK. Again, run a search on Google. They'll be up at the top. Now, here's the thing. You might not have enough time left unless Turnwood FX have something already on their shelf that you can purchase there and then. I know that Vape Smarter UK have got their doors open right now for any orders for Christmas, but those doors might close anytime soon because, again, these mods, the battery bit, in other words, the battery bit that you're going to buy is going to be handmade. It's going to be handmade by them, then and there, made to order. It's something a little bit extra for the rebuildable tank user or the rebuildable dripper user who'll be very happy to receive a nice lump of stabilised wood that they can vape on. Just a little bit extra I thought I'd throw in at the very end of this video in case whoever's watching this video who's a non-vapor sees their partner who's a vapor with bits of cotton everywhere and bits of wire everywhere. They're obviously a rebuilder. They're obviously a rebuilder. A nice Turnwood FX or Vape Smarter single or dual battery mod. Perfect for Christmas. Anyway, that's it from me. I hope you found this video helpful. Have a good one.